Well, it is a big day for Apple as the tech giant holds its annual fall event. Will we see a new iPhone? What will it look like? Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley is in Cupertino, California, to give us a preview of what to expect. All of that said, Dan, I feel like that these announcements have less fanfare than they used to.
Yeah, it used to be a huge event that I think the world kind of tuned into, and I think they still do, but it doesn't exactly have that mystique that it might have once had. That being said, you can hear people cheering behind me. There are plenty of people streaming in here. The streets are closed off. Obviously, it's going to be a big event, and what we're expecting today is 3 new iPhones. There's going to be a base level iPhone. That's expected to be called the iPhone 11, and that should replace the 10R. That's going to get 2 cameras now. That's a big addition to it. One is the telephoto lens capability that only was available on the higher-end iPhones, and then we're going to have 2 new high-end iPhones. Those would be the Apple iPhone 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max. Those are the names that are being speculated right now. Those will have 3 cameras, one including a standard wide-angle, the telephoto, and then a new ultra-wide-angle lens. That'll let you take super-wide images instead of taking those big panorama photos that nobody ever really looks at. These will allow you to do that much easier. And then we're also expecting to see new improvements to the speed of the iPhones, obviously new battery improvements, increased water resistance, potentially better shatter resistance. That's something especially helpful for people like me who drop their phone a lot. And then we're also expecting to see updates to the Apple Watch that could include sleep tracking, something that's been missing for a while, as well as water resistance and noise canceling for the AirPods. Now, the Apple Watch and AirPods have been 2 huge sellers for Apple. They help push the accessories category past the iPad category in the previous quarter as far as revenue. So we'll see if they roll out new additions there.
Dan, is this going to be all product, or might we learn something more, and if so, what, about services, Apple TV, etc.?
It's usually all about product here at these kinds of events. It's usually, the mobile products, the iPhone, the Apple Watch, the AirPod, iOS, but we could hear about pricing and availability for Apple TV Plus. Now, that's something that they announced during their big event back in March, that we were still waiting to hear more about it. That is something that really needs to kind of hit a sweet spot as far as pricing goes, because you see Netflix now available $9 a month, but then you also have Disney Plus that's available for $6.99. That's really, I think, the basement that you're going to get for these big streaming services, and I think it puts Apple in a tight spot, because yes, you can pay $9 plus for Netflix, but then you get a huge catalog of shows, whereas with Apple you're not going to get that backlog of third-party shows. They really are producing everything on their own. And though at Disney Plus, same deal, you have those fill of shows as well as new ones that they're offering. So far we've seen a little bit of what Apple's going to offer in terms of shows. We've seen that new Steve Carell show that's called The Morning Show. We haven't seen much beyond that. We saw originally during the announcement what they're expecting, but as far as trailers, nothing so far. So it would be interesting if we got pricing for that as well as release date. We're really hoping to see something.